one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the United States, the acceptable, our guard, among the United States. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Josie. Oh, please.
Dr. Guy Archambault. Ms. Emily Daly.
Here.
Walter Javier.
Here.
Ron Steve. Ms. Randy.
Present. We do indeed have quorum this evening, thankfully. First off, we have adoption of the agenda. Board members, are there any changes to the agenda, and if so, what? All right. Superintendent Weiger's walking away, but I know he can still speak. Is there a recommendation, sir?
I recommend that we adopt the agenda.
Excellent. Board members, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second.
Second.
Thank you. I think we're going to be having a lot of this combo tonight. It has been moved by Ms. Daly and seconded by Mr. Jaramillo to approve the agenda as presented. Board members, any discussion? All right, hearing none, we shall proceed to a roll call vote. Mrs. Shirley.
Ms. Daly.
Yes.
Mr. Javier. Mrs. Lee.
Aye, the motion carries. Next up, we have adoption of minutes. We have the first set of minutes from September 29th. Board members, are there any amendments to the minutes, and if so, what? Superintendent Weiner, is there a recommendation, sir?
I recommend that we adopt the minutes from September 29th.
Wonderful. Board members, is there a motion to approve the September 29th minutes as presented?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second.
I second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Mr. Jaramillo and seconded by Ms. Daly to approve the September 29th minutes as presented. Any discussion, board members? Hearing none, we shall proceed to a roll call vote. Mrs. Shirley, please.
Ms. Daly.
Yes.
Mr. Javier.
Yes.
Mrs. Lee.
Aye, the motion carries. Next up, we have the October 7th minute. Any amendments to those minutes? And if so, what? Superintendent.
I recommend that we approve the minutes from October 7th.
Excellent. Board members, is there a motion to approve the October 7th minutes as presented?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Mr. Jaramillo and seconded by Ms. Daly to approve the October 7th minutes as presented. Any discussion?
I think it was the other way around. I think
Oh, you did. My apologies, ma'am. It has been moved by Ms. Daly and seconded by Mr. Jaramillo to approve the minutes as presented. Discussion, board members. Hearing none, we shall proceed to a roll call. Mrs. Shirley, please.
Ms. Daly.
yes.
Mr. Javier.
Yes.
Mrs. Lee.
Aye, the motion carries. Mrs. Shirley, are there any citizens to address the board this evening?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Wagner, sir.
Awesome.
Recognitions.
So tonight is our second meeting of the month. We started a great tradition three years ago, where we started recognizing our folks in the district who have great social, emotional learning happening at their school sites, in their classrooms, in their job. And so every month we recognize folks for our SE Love Awards and our Edu Champion, somebody who's a champion for education and champion for kids in their schools. Tonight's group, we selected a outstanding group. We haven't yet recognized some of our assistant principals. So we decided tonight that we have a group of assistant principals that are working very hard and oftentimes doing jobs for their supervisors, for their principals. And so we want to make sure and recognize a group. The first recipient of the October SEL Award is our new assistant principal, Milan Elementary School. She started with us in July, doing a phenomenal job and working very hard to share the SE love on her campus and to the kids and the family. So it is my pleasure to present this plaque to Mrs. Lisa Prendick. You don't have pictures. Normally they take pictures, right? Mrs. Jones, she's the photographer. Congratulations. Another new assistant principal. We took a really good math teacher out of a classroom, and we hired her as the assistant principal at Mason View. And Mason View is a high action school. There is a lot happening at Mason View Elementary School. Their roads are closed half of the time, and it's hard to get to school. And sometimes you have to walk out to the other side of the bridge to get kids to school. And our assistant principal at Mason View is doing a fantastic job. She's working very hard and doing the work to make a difference for her kids. It is my honor to present the SE Love plaque for October to Miss Kayla Brown. Counter. We took an assistant principal from elementary school who was rocking and rolling and doing a great job, and she decided that she was going to kind of move on with her own children and go to middle school. And she has taken on athletics and discipline and is really working to be the right hand of her principal. Is doing a phenomenal job. She's been in lots of meetings today representing the school district and working for us and doing an excellent job at secondary. It is my pleasure to present the October Edu Champion Belt, Miss Vanessa Marley. You have sparkle cans. Oh,
I would be questions.
I have to put it on you.
Okay.
Then you have to play.
Okay.
For Rick. I know. You've never gotten it before. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. You guys want to join her for a picture?
Yes.
It's gonna be your Christmas card.
Yeah.
How are you, sir? And then I'll step out and you guys have a family picture.
I had to
Okay. Step out. Concludes our recognitions tonight.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and congratulations, assistant principals, on being recognized for your wonderful, dedicated work. We thank you all. Next, we have presentations. The first one up is FFA. Mr. Wagner.
Yes, tonight we have some important presentations. We're a lot of great donations coming in to different programs and different school sites. And so we are starting with the Grants FFA chapter. Mr. Gonzalez is here to talk about a $3,000 donation that they're receiving. So Mr. Gonzalez.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent, members of the board. Great to see you all again. So I'm here today because a few months ago, I actually put in an application with the National FFA organization for a new program that they're doing called Travel Assistance Grants. So for a lot of the National FFA events they put on throughout the year, they understand that there's a lot of students who can't necessarily afford to go to these events. So they partnered with a lot of sponsors to find funding to distribute to FFA chapters nationwide to allow students to attend. The day before the application was due, I decided, hey, I'm going to put in for money to help us out with the National FFA Convention. See if we get something, maybe not. I was anticipating we were maybe going to get a few $100s. We ended up getting from the National FFA organization $3,000 as part of this grant, which is incredible for us because the entire trip is going to cost us $3,700. So it basically saves quite a bit of money, but it also helps to ensure that my students have the opportunity to attend the convention and experience everything that they're doing. We leave a week from today to the National FFA Convention. If you guys will remember, my student Monica Ruiz is competing in the National Spanish Creed Speaking Invitational. And we also just got an invitation about 2 weeks ago for another student that's attending, Sophia Larry. She will be attending the National FFA Foundation Celebration Breakfast, where she will be reciting the FFA Creed in Navajo. So we're very excited about these opportunities. Students will get to showcase their skills on the national level. And we will also be walking the stage one more time this year to receive our National 3-Star chapter. So I'm here today to ask for approval for the $3,000 travel assistance grant from the National FFA organization.
Excellent. Board members, we have consideration of approval for the $3,000 donation to Grants FFA. Superintendent Weiser, a recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend that we do accept this donation, and I've written a motion for you there.
Thank you.
If you accept my recommendation.
You're stepping in and helping us, huh? Very good. Wonderful. So board members, is there a motion to accept the donation of $3,000 from the National FFA organization as a grant funding source for the Grants High School FFA program?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Ms. Hunt Daly and seconded by Mr. Palomino to approve the $3,000 donation from the National FFA organization as a grant funding source for the Grants High School FFA program. Any discussion, board members?
No, just a comment. Really made a difference in bringing FFA back. It was around when I was in high school, then it disappeared and it's going full-fledged in a union job.
Anything further?
That high school, was that in the 1960s? Just kidding.
70s.
Okay.
Actually, late 70s.
All right. Official procedure roll call vote, Mrs. Charlie.
Ms. Hunt Daly,
Yes.
Mr. Palomino,
Yes.
Mrs. Lee.
Aye, the motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you. Best of luck next cycle. We can choose the next cycle.
Take lots of care.
I'm injured this year.
Right, picture this year.
Our next action item is the another donation. Donation of labor, supplies, and expertise for construction of softball batting cages at Grants High School. This is a very kind donation from a group of parents, and I'll let Mrs. Elkins talk about that. Without further ado, Principal Cibola.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members, directors, guests behind me. Mr. Jaramillo gave me a very specific script to stick to. But the bottom line, and just a little history, is that we have the Lady Bombers, who's a youth traveling softball team that uses our facility with a facility use form. They've been using it for the past 3 years. We have a great relationship with them. And they have offered to build batting cages out there at that facility. Several of the coaches are licensed contractors, and so there should be no issue there. They're going to provide the materials build, they're going to provide the labor. And then, like I said, they do they're bonded and licensed so they can do that work. It is a good faith donation, just a gesture of appreciation for us allowing them to use that facility. So it does not exceed the $5,000. They have ensured that they will call 811 if they are going to dig anywhere that needs to, that's a utility location. But we are asking that the board allows us to accept that donation in the form of materials, labor for this.
So board members, we have consideration for donation of labor, supplies, and expertise for construction of softball batting cage. I will reiterate, this is from the Lady Bombers softball program to construct the cage, and the donation is valued less than $5,000. It includes all labor, materials, and professional expertise required to complete the project in accordance with construction and safety standards. So, Superintendent Weidner.
Again, I've drafted a motion for you all. I do recommend that we accept this donation.
Very good. Board members, is there a motion to approve the donation of labor, supplies, and expertise for the construction of the softball batting cage? And a second?
Sorry, I was asking a question. Do we have a licensed contractor that's going to sign off on it to say that it's built safely or adequately?
Yes. So the coaches of that team, they're licensed and bonded contractors. They will work closely with Mr. Atencio and his team just as far as location and that type of stuff to make sure that we're compliant everywhere else. But yes.
Okay, thank you then. I second.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, it has been moved by Mr. Jaramillo and seconded by Ms. Hunt Daly to approve the donation of labor, supplies, and expertise for construction of the softball batting cage from the Lady Bombers softball program. Is there any further discussion, board members? All right, hearing none, we shall proceed to a roll call vote. Mrs. Turley.
Ms. Hunt Daly,
Yes.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Yes.
Aye, the motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have
At this time, we are not asking about donations, but it is our annual conversation where we talk about sending our students from Los Alamos Middle School to New York City and Washington, D.C. They go to learn about civics, learn about government, learn about America, learn about Broadway and live civics in a big city. And so this year we have a new advisor who is taking the children on the trip. This is Corey Bassett, and we are very excited to have Corey here. She's asking the board for permission to take the students on an out-of-state overnight trip. Mrs. Bassett.
Hi, my name is Corey Bassett and I teach 8th grade health at Los Alamitos. I'm asking for permission to organize a 5-day trip to New York City, and actually it's Philadelphia this year, with 48 8th grade students who show exemplary attendance, grades, and behavior, and 27 chaperones. That actually is 28 as of today. This trip is an opportunity for these students to go to a part of our country that's rich with history and culture. The trip will be from June 8th to 12th, 2026, and while we are there, we'll be seeing and learning about many different historical landmarks, including the Statue of Liberty, the Museum of Natural History, the Rockefeller Center, the 9/11 Memorial Museum, Independence Hall, National Constitution Center, which are in Philadelphia. The kids will also get to see Radio City Music Hall and a Broadway show, which is something most of these kids will never have an opportunity to see again. So please consider allowing this amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for 48 of our amazing students. Thank you.
Speaking from experience, my kiddo got to go to New York. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Superintendent Weiner.
So sometimes they need chaperones. Board members need to chaperone. I have written a motion for this one as well, and I do recommend that we approve for the students from Los Alamitos Middle School to go out of state overnight on this wonderful life-changing experience.
So board members, is there a motion to approve the Los Alamitos Middle School students to travel out of state for this very exciting trip to Philadelphia? Did you say Philadelphia?
It's New York. It's New York. We fly in and out of New York. We're staying in New York. Philadelphia. We're just gonna do a day trip to Philadelphia. It's a 2-hour bus ride each way.
Excellent, perfect. Let me restate.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I wanted to make sure I had it right. So board members, is there a motion to approve out-of-state travel and overnight travel for Los Alamitos Middle School 8th grade students to New York and Philadelphia for their annual civics and government learning experience scheduled for June 8th through 12th, 2026?
How many students is she taking?
Up to 40.
48 actually.
48. But you
Okay.
had
28 chaperones.
28 chaperones and 48 students.
Yes, that's what's registered as of today.
Oh.
There's still some open spots, so they can still change.
Okay, I move to approve and commend them highly for wanting to take 48 students anywhere, especially 8th graders.
Very good. Second,
Second.
thank you. It has been moved by Ms. Daly and seconded by Mr. Jaramillo to approve the out-of-state and overnight travel for Los Alamitos Middle School 8th grade students to travel to New York and Philadelphia. Any discussion, board members?
Just a comment, like you said, my kids had a, well, I never chaperoned it, but I went on my own at different times, and this definitely gives me to see that part of the country.
Anything further, board members? Hearing none, we shall proceed to a roll call vote. Mrs. Turley?
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Jaramillo?
Yes.
Aye, the motion carries. Congratulations and best of luck for the trip.
Thank you.
Sir.
President Lee, board members, it is the exciting time of the meeting where we get to talk about our policies. And there's been a lot of work going on this week. We're working on procedures to go with the policies. And, I know you guys always look forward to the exciting policies that Ms. Gallegos Ortiz is going to bring. So without further ado, Ms. Gallegos Ortiz is going to talk to you about a couple of first read, and then we'll look at adopting some of the second reads from last meeting.
Very good.
I'm trying to get my screen approved to share. For my
Nathan?
That's right.
There we go.
Madam President, members of the board, we'll start off today with a first read on Policy Services Advisory, Volume 16, Number 5 from December of 2019. So I'm not sure what happened with this advisory when it came out, but looking back at past meeting minutes, I found the approval for Policy Services Advisory 202, and then it jumped to 204. So I'm not sure what happened with this one. So the policy on this one is for medical care management for diabetes management. The purpose of this policy is to make sure that students with diabetes receive appropriate support during the school day. It ensures their health needs are met safely while allowing them to participate fully in academic and extracurricular activities without discrimination or exclusion. Are there any questions at this time?
Board members, any questions on this one?
So now we will go on to do a second read for Policy Services Advisory Volume 24, Number 2 from February of 26. This is numbers 247 to 26.
February 25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's just say we're jumping.
We're jumping.
We're good. We are
On it.
air.
So for Policy Services number 247, this is policy 80750, and also the regulation for it. This policy was previously just referred to in various policy provisions, applicable to drug and alcohol and tobacco and nicotine-free schools. This policy and these regulations now become the primary policy for this information. In the Policy Services Advisory, this is on page 6 through 8. It's just a revamp of the whole policy. And then the regulation is on page 9. Next is Policy Advisory 248, Policy E2011. This is the regulation for student transportation. This is at the bottom of page 12 on the Policy Services Advisory. It takes out, deletes tobacco is not allowed in a school bus, and it deletes alcohol beverages shall not be carried onto the school bus. But it adds commercial tobacco and nicotine products, electronic tobacco or nicotine delivery devices, alcohol beverages, mood altering substances, and illicit drugs are prohibited against. So for Policy Services number 249, this is policy G0881, staff conduct with students. This is on page 23 of the Policy Services Advisory. The only part that was added to it is nicotine was added to towards the middle of it, there's 2 different sections. Socializing, where students are consuming alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, and nicotine was added to that. And then on the one underneath it, providing or offering to provide alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, nicotine to students. Next, Policy Services Advisory 250, Policy G1100. This policy is going to be deleted in its entirety. Next, under Policy Advisory 251, Policy G6100, discipline, suspension, termination, and discharge of professional staff members. The only thing that was added, and this is on page 42, is a cross-reference to the new policy that is being added with this policy services. For policy advisory number 252, policy G9300, again, same thing. It was just added to cross-reference the new policy of A0750. Policy services number 253 is I 6631. Nicotine was added on page 54 of the policy services advisory. Nicotine was added to paragraph number 13 on the item. It is my duty not to possess or use tobacco or nicotine, alcohol, or illegal drugs while on school property or during school events or off premises. Next, policy services advisory 254. This is policy J2300, student conduct. This is on page 56. It cross-references the, under about 4 or 5 down, it adds the use, possession, distribution, or sale of tobacco or nicotine to that section. And then also at the end of the policy, it cross-references the new policy that's been added to this. Next, for policy advisory 255, policy J3000, this is tobacco use by students and smoking. This policy is deleted in its entirety. Next, under policy advisory 256, this is J4611, which is the regulation for student discipline, and then also J4632, which is the exhibit for student discipline. The regulation added tobacco and nicotine to the list of prohibited items, and the exhibit added nicotine to the tobacco record. For policy advisory number 257, this is policy J5350, administering medicines to students. The new policy J0750 was added as a cross-reference, and then the policy for tobacco use by students is being deleted as a cross-reference. Policy advisory number 258, K1681, community use of school facilities. Nicotine was added to the list of prohibited items. This is on page 79. For policy advisory number 259, policy K1700, public conduct on school property. Nicotine was added to the list of prohibited items, and this is on page 85 of the policy service. And policy number, advisory number 260, this is policy 1750, tobacco use, smoking on school premises, and also the regulation A1761. The policy and the regulation will be deleted in its entirety. So at this time, if there's any questions, I will answer them. But there's a lot of policies in this one, but there's not a whole lot of changes to each one. It's just adding verbiage.
Thank you. Board members, any questions regarding these policy changes and advisories?
I have a few questions. How does this correlate with, especially if it well, I don't know if it includes sports, those that athletes that are violate one of these policies. How close is it to the NMMA policies as well? Because I know there's been questions. Our policy does not match that, or is it? Does it include students, or are we just talking about staff?
This includes both students and staff. All of these policies.
So did we look to see how close they are related as far as the, and which governs our students? Do we go by the school policy, or do we go by the NMA policy, which does not allow students on their first offense to engage in sports? But what I was told was that our school policy does allow it, that it's the second warning where they're not allowed to participate. So I would like to see a comparison made between the NMA policy and our policy, so that we don't have this controversy. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna come up again because we have a lot of students who are vaping and stuff. So our policies need to be consistent with New Mexico Athletic Association policies as well.
Mrs. Daly,
Yes.
we here, we follow the NMAA policies with the students and for the student athletes. So if it's what's in the NMAA policy, it's very much the policy that they adhere to. And so our policies that Ms. Gallegos Ortiz just presented are the NMSBA policies. And so they are correlated. They are in conjunction together. And these ones, if we vote yes and pass these, then we're aligned with other boards as well as NMA.
Okay, so you're certain that because I understand there is something going on with a student athlete where the policy says this NMA policy says dismissal or what do they call it when they're not allowed to participate in the game, but the school policy is different.
And our board policy will take precedent. It'll override.
This
Okay.
policy all students, if they are a student athlete, they have to intervene.
Okay.
Okay,
So
is that clear in the interpretation with parents? Because I know that is a deliberate question right now. Is they're saying that they follow the NMA policy rules, but the parent is stating that the school policy rules are different than what the NMA says.
So this would be our policy. This would affect every student, whether they're a fourth grader at Mount Taylor or a 12th grader at the early college high school. This would cover all of our students regarding tobacco use and vaping, right? And then if a child is a student athlete, they additionally have to adhere to AA's policy.
Oh, okay. So what I'm understanding you to say is that, okay, if the parent wishes to argue that our school policy doesn't have it, then it is clear to the athletic department that they also have to adhere to the NMA policy, which then would supersede the school policy. Am I hearing correctly?
It's stricter. NMA's is a little,
Yes.
yeah, a little more rigorous, and so there's the additional standards that student athletes have to step up to, and that goes for activities too. So
Okay.
like Mr. Gonzalez presented, and he's taking students on a CTSO trip, right, for FFA, and his kids also are participating in activities. So they have
Okay.
those high standards as well.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we don't have double standards and that a parent can call us on the loophole and say, well, your school policy doesn't say that, but and then the school says, well, the NMA policy does say it, and so it affects any ruling, especially it affects the students and the parents' perception. But if you're sure that we go by the NMA policy as well, then I'm okay with it.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. So at this juncture of the meeting, we have consideration of approval of the policy advisory volume 24, number 2, from February 25th, which is policy advisories numbered 247 through 260. Superintendent, recommendations, sir.
This is fabulous where Cheese is doing a great job of getting our policies organized and passed, following through with them. I recommend that we do approve policy advisory volume 24, number 2, February 2025, policy advisory 247 through 260.
Excellent. So, board members, is there a motion to approve and adopt the Policy Service Advisory Volume 24, number 2, February 2025, which includes policy advisories 247 through 260 as presented? Thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, ma'am. It has been moved by Mr. Jaramillo and seconded by Ms. Daly to approve the Policy Advisory Volume 24, number 2, February 2025, Policy Advisories number 247 through 260 as presented. Any discussion, board members? Hearing none, we shall proceed to roll call vote. Mrs. Turley.
Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Weidner.
Our next presentation is a follow-up presentation. In the spring, we had Mr. Hawker, our coordinator of security, come and present about Arcata and the cameras and bait detection that we have implemented on our campuses. We utilized bond funds to pay for that installation. We are in the process of building a new school. Mason View Elementary School is set to open this summer. And so we would like to talk to you about installing Verkada technology in the Mason View build, so that when we open the school, the cameras and information is all there. So without further ado, District Security Coordinator Jeremy Hall.
Good evening, Mr. Superintendent, President Lee, board members and directors. To truly appreciate our district, sometimes you have to step outside of our district and see what other schools are doing in other districts and even other states. I've been to Texas, I've been to Colorado, helping coach football. I'm on different campuses on Friday nights. And I look around to see what do they have or what are they doing that we're not doing, that maybe we could do better, that maybe we could change. And I can say with a small measure of pride tonight, and I say a small measure because we do still have work to do. And we do still have things to refine and to make better. But I feel when it comes to safety and security, because our board is driving those conversations and our superintendent is leading that, I feel that this is an area where we are actually a step ahead of some districts in our state. Some of you may know that House Bill 450 was passed in legislation. $50 million was set to be split amongst 89 school districts. Grant Cibola County Schools, I think, stands to receive $918,000. Cooper Jones just said amen, which is a wonderful thing. But what that tells me is that the state of New Mexico is just now looking at what we were looking at months ago. And we are already making those provisions and making those strides to protect our campuses in our schools. We stood here and made a challenge to step up and be those safe schools and provide that safe, warm, inviting learning atmosphere. And so what I'm asking tonight is that we continue to do that with the new Mesa View build. I had the privilege of going and walking some of that yesterday. We were looking at camera drops and different things like that for the doors. And it's exciting to see what we're doing. And it's exciting to see how the principals feel and the students and the parents feel about the new schools that they're about to receive. And with that, there's a great understanding of the responsibility to protect those investments. And so with that, what we're asking tonight is that we continue the Verkada rollout that we have at all of our other campuses to this new campus. This is an extension of the original rollout. It has been budgeted for, and it is funded by the capital bonds. And what this will do is this will put Mesa View on par with the rest of our schools so that our access control systems, our security systems, our camera systems are the same all the way across the board, and we can continue to make those strides to provide safe campuses for our students so they're not having to come in and ask the question, am I safe here? They can come in and ask the question, what can I learn here? So what we're asking tonight is that we approve that for the Mesa View bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Board members, any questions for Mr. Hawker?
Do we already have that system at the old school?
The old school was, or the old school is on a Genetec system, and those were only exterior cameras. The new system will be the Verkada system, and that will include interior and exterior cameras for the school.
And Mr. Hawker, are those available at all the other schools too, or are we still behind the times and we need to improve those areas as well?
No, ma'am. All of our schools have already received Verkada camera systems. They have the access control, which is the ability to check in, check out students. Our secretaries can open doors from a tablet via an intercom system to speak to visitors from a safe distance outside. And that is on all our campuses from Cabero, Seb, Laguna Acoma to Blue Water and San Rafael. We are covered except for Mesa View.
And they can't be hacked by AI. We hear horror stories.
We do, but from what Verkada's told me, it is extremely difficult for AI to access that system. That's something they've delved into, but that might be something I would defer to maybe Mr. Tafoya or Mr. Jones about those questions.
It's secure. It's in the cloud as well, which adds a level of security. So it's not like somebody can drive to a physical server and hack a server. They'd have to go through lengths to even scratch the surface. The other thing is that Verkada doesn't store any student data. All the data that it has is from people that are visiting. So we're not subject to things like FERPA or IPRA or anything like that as far as who's in the buildings and all that kind of stuff. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a consideration of approval of Verkada installation at the Mesa View build. Do you have a recommendation, sir?
Again, there's a motion in your packets. I do recommend that we approve this so that Mesa View is in line with all of our other campuses and that we do have the technology ready to go in the new school. That packet also gives you information about where the funding is coming from and how we have funded this as a district. I recommend that we approve.
Excellent. So board members, is there a motion to approve the installation and purchase of the Verkada technology system for the new Mesa View Elementary School to be completed prior to the school's opening at a cost of $235,846.63?
Okay, one last question. And where's the amount coming out of? What fund?
It's our bond funds that we had to draw down, that we had to utilize. And so the capital bond funds from 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to go back and think of what we said we were going to use the bond funds for, and that was part of it when we asked voters to vote for this particular bond because we were going to use it to upgrade our security systems.
That's correct.
Okay. All right then. Thank you.
Right, it has been moved by Mr. Jaramillo. I'm asking for a second.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. It has been moved by Mr. Jaramillo and seconded by Ms. Daly to approve the purchase and installation of the Mercado technology system for the new Mesa View build to be completed prior to the school's opening at a cost of $235,846.63. Is there any further discussion, board members? All right, hearing none, I shall proceed to a roll call vote. This is Shirley.
Ms. Hunt Daily,
Yes.
Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mrs. Lee.
Aye, the motion carries. Very good.
Thank you.
Board members, thank you, Mr. Hawker, for your time this evening.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Reiner.
At this time, it's time for the superintendent's report. Tonight I wanted to report out on a few items that I've been working on that the board has requested that I work on. As you remember this summer, I was given some objectives to work on for the fall. One of those being the updating of our strategic plan. I have been working on that, have kind of drafted a skeleton of the strategic plan based on our old strategic plan, as well as some of our goals that we've worked on together. Our next step, we probably need to work with a consultant to generate our strategic plan and build it based on our data and our information and our stakeholders and hold those meetings. And so that's kind of the direction that we would head with the strategic plan. So I wanted you to see the direction that we're headed in and see the beginnings of our 5-year strategic plan, which would go from 2026 to 2031. And give you the opportunity to kind of see where that work is coming together. And so that's what's in your packet there. That also includes the organizational chart for Grand Cibola County Schools. And every year I usually submit a organizational chart, and that gives you the organizational chart as we're moving forward into the future. And so that's there in your packets as well. Another important item that the board asked, and we talked about this at our last board meeting, we talked about tribal consultations. And as you know, in the fall, there's a lot of conversations happening between tribal leaders, tribal education entities, and the district. And so we work with our partners at Acoma, Laguna, as well as the Navajo Nation to do what's best for our students that are in the district. The board asked me this summer to have a tribal consultation outline and plan. I've been working on that for a few weeks, and as of right now, Mr. Baldo has been very instrumental in helping us with setting some of those pre-consultation meetings. We'll be talking to governors and first lieutenants and presidents to talk about what information they would like for the tribal consultations and how we can structure those meetings to be meaningful and important as best for our students. And so there's the tribal consultation plan. I do believe I emailed this to all of the board members as well. And would love any feedback. I know Dr. Archambault gave me a little feedback on it, and then I've also asked the tribal leadership teams and education components to also provide feedback. So so that's there for you. I know you've already had that, but I just wanted you to know that I am working on the items that you asked me to work on, and make sure that you get the big picture of what the goals are for strategic planning and tribal consultation.
Board members, any questions for the superintendent right now? All right. Next, we get to move to executive session. I will make the statement. This executive session is discussion of limited personnel matters pursuant to NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1, H2.
I'm sorry. I don't want to disturb you, but I did have some questions. For some reason, I was muted. Now I'm back on. But I do have some questions regarding an already planned plan. If I remember right and recall right, the conversations with Miss Winiko and I can't remember the gentleman's name. The idea was to meet with the governors and the necessary members, whoever wanted to, and develop a plan. Not give them a plan that we've developed and then ask them to approve it. That's not tribal consultation. Consult means to talk with them and come together with and come up with a plan. Now you're telling me that you've got a plan that you're going to submit. You got a little feedback here and there, but you've developed a plan that you're going to submit to people and hope they approve it. No, that's not what I understand. My understanding from especially from my uh, governor and lieutenant governor is they want to sit down before anything is written, anything, and discuss what the needs are. I don't see it being tribal consultation by presenting us what we come up with and say, here it is. We need for you to approve it. If there's some things you want to add to it, then go ahead. No, that's not consultation. That's giving them a preemptive plan that we hope they approve of and to make changes of. The plan should come in a face-to-face conversation with the tribal leaderships and with any of the stakeholders. Well, I've been talking with Dr. Guy, but if that's his take on it, I wholeheartedly agree. This is not tribal consultation, Superintendent Widener. This is, well, I don't know what the word I would call manipulation. Here it is. Prove it or not approve it. Give us your input, and if you don't get input, then we're going to approve it anyway. No, the plan has to be sat down together and discussed, and we come up together as a group, come up with the facets of what a plan should be, not approve a plan that's already been designed by whomever. And I believe that that both all tribes, I don't know about the Navajo tribe, but I believe that both Acoma and Laguna tribes want to be at the table when this plan is constructed. And I want to be there at the table when this plan is constructed. So I do not agree with this attempt to give them a preemptive plan and hope that they like what we said, or like not what I said, but what somebody else put together. That is my take.
Mrs. Huntley, this plan is for the board. The board directed that I create a plan and that I share it with you. It is not a plan for the tribal leaders. The meeting that I have with the tribal leaders next week will be to forge a plan for what they would like in their consultations. Again, this is only for you guys because you asked me to create it.
I don't,
Number
I totally hardly disagree. We didn't ask you to create a plan. We asked you to begin a process of tribal consultation to develop a plan. We don't have a plan. The board is not tasked with coming up with a plan. The tribal leadership, the stakeholders, together we come up with a plan. We the board wasn't tasked to, according to the meeting, wasn't tasked to come up with a plan. I'm telling you, we didn't. That was not my understanding. That we ordered, or not ordered, but asked you to come up with a plan. Our plan, no. The plan should be construed of an open discussion with through tribal consultation, and I believe that's what if I can remember correctly, that's what Miss Katie Winiko and, oh gosh, I can't remember the other guy's name, said. It's a plan that we all come up together with, not the other way around. I don't think.
Haley, in that meeting, Mr. Wagner was asked by the board to outline for us what his steps for the district would be. This plan right here that he has shared with us are the steps that he, as the superintendent of the board, is taking to ensure that what Miss Pasquale, you, Guy, and Miss Katie Ann Juanico all requested for tribal consultation. So what he has just shared here with us is basically his outline of all of the steps that he's planning for the district to take involving the tribal consultations. And if you would look at number 5, it says consultation preparation steps. Formal invitation sent 30 days prior to meetings with proposed agenda and purpose. Number 2, pre-consultation Google form distributed 21 to 30 days prior to gather input and topics of concern. Data packets shared. Internal student success meetings held prior, respect for sovereignty and confidentiality, and GCCS will send out an email prior to the scheduled meeting. And then it says, consultation framework, post-consultation follow-ups. So this is not Mr. Widener dictating how everything is going to go. These are the steps that he is going to take to ensure that the district is doing what the tribes have requested as far as having a partnership and consulting. Does that help make a little bit
No,
more sense?
I still disagree. The
Okay.
the plan is in its current form. It doesn't comply with the board's direction. It said we told him to get with the tribes and develop the consultation plan. That's what tribal consultation means, is to work with the tribes to develop a plan, not already come up with some preemptive things that should be considered. Some of the things that you're talking about may not even be what the tribes want. The board's directive emphasizes co-development, with all the tribes being equal partners in this consultation process. So in order for us to have a process, we still need to meet with the tribes and say, okay, what is your idea of a consultation process? How many meetings should we have? Who should be at those meetings? Who's going to, what should we, all of those questions have not been asked yet. We're asking them to go ahead and we've been, I don't, I'm
So
sorry.
you're actually arguing something that is already happening and in place.
And you're not, you must have not read the plan.
Well, it shouldn't even be in place yet because we haven't met with the tribes. We haven't consulted with the tribes. I'm sorry. I'm in full disagreement, and I think before we move forward, I would I would suggest that we table this and get together with the councils and see if this is what they want. It's not what I want, it's what they want.
There is no action on this, ma'am. This was a report that Mr. Widener was asked to give, sharing the steps that he is taking to ensure that there is going to be alignment with the tribes and the district, and that there are dialogues that are going to be able to happen to ensure that there is collaboration, government to government collaboration between the Pueblos and tribal nations and the school district. That is all that this was. There is no action. Therefore, there is nothing to table. This is a report. And Mr. Widener indicated that he is meeting next week with the tribal leadership of Laguna and Acoma so far.
As I read the document says it's written as a district design plan presented to tribes. So we're taking something to the tribes as our contribution, but we shouldn't even have a contribution because it's not our plan. It's the tribes plan and the stakeholders plan, not our. So we should go to the table with just an empty piece of paper and say, okay, what do we want? Tribes, governor, lieutenant governor, what do we want? And then we can write it down, and then we can come up with the way we're going to meet with the different tribes. We're going to meet with stakeholders. We're going to have public hearings. That's not ours you're right. It's not ours to decide, nor is it ours to take anything to the tribes during this meeting and say, okay, this is kind of like what we've kind of already outlined what we need, and then turn around and ask, okay, what do you need? No, that's like I don't know what to call it, but I, I just think we just go to the tribe, have your meetings with the tribe, and say, okay, here's an empty slate. What do we want? What do we want? Then go to the next tribe. We don't even tell them what the other tribes want. We just ask the other tribe, what do we want? We go to a public hearing, we ask the parents and the guardians and the students, what do we want? That's what tribal consultation. If you look at the definition of consult, it means to consult with, to ask.
Thank you, ma'am. I greatly appreciate your opinion and thank you for voicing that for everybody to hear and consider moving forward. And it's very valuable what you have to say, and I thank you for that. Is there anything further?
No, I would move to table it until
There's
we can
nothing
meet with the tribes.
There's nothing to table because there's no action on this, ma'am. It was
Okay.
just a report. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. All right. So executive session, sir. Discussion of limited personnel matters pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. Specifically, number one, for the board to discuss and share results of the superintendent's evaluation with the superintendent, and number two, for the superintendent to share limited personnel information with the board. No action will be taken and only the items listed will be discussed. Is there a motion to move to executive session as presented? A second? Ms. Daly, you're muted.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I'm not going to second.
That's fine, I'll second. It has been moved by Mr. Jaramillo and seconded by Ms. Lee to move to executive session as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we shall proceed to a roll call vote. Mrs. Shirley.
Ms. Hunt Bailey,
No.
Mr. Monahan,
Yes.
Mrs. Reese.
Aye, the motion carries. The board has moved into executive session at 6:40 PM.
think we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, for the public's knowledge, Ms. Hunt Daly left the meeting. Therefore, we no longer have quorum and the meeting cannot proceed. I will make a statement, though, that there was actually no discussion during executive session and there was no action taken. And so, because we did not have our third member of the meeting join executive session, we had to end the meeting. So this meeting officially ended. I will state at 6